In the quiet town of Evergreen, where life moved at a steady pace and everyone knew each other, there lived a young boy named Sam. Sam was the kind of boy who was always brimming with energy, his curiosity about the world around him boundless. He would spend hours exploring the woods, imagining himself as a brave explorer or a knight in shining armor. Yet, for all his adventures, there was one part of life Sam didn't fully understand: the importance of the people who served their country. Evergreen was a town that held a deep respect for its history, and in the heart of the town square stood a large bronze statue of a soldier, rifle in hand, gazing forward with a determined expression. It was a tribute to the men and women from Evergreen who had served in the military, some of whom had never returned. One summer afternoon, Sam was playing near the statue when he noticed an elderly man sitting on a nearby bench. The man's hair was silver, his posture upright despite his age, and he was dressed in a neatly pressed military uniform. His chest was adorned with medals, each one representing a chapter of his life that was likely filled with hardship and bravery. Sam had seen the man around town before but had never paid much attention. However, today something about the man's quiet dignity caught his eye. Sam, full of his usual curiosity, approached the bench and looked up at the man. "Hello, sir," Sam said, his voice cheerful. "Why do you have all those medals?" The man, whose name was Mr. Johnson, turned to Sam with a warm smile. His eyes, though weathered by time, held a kindness that immediately put Sam at ease. "These medals," Mr. Johnson began, touching one of them gently, "are reminders of my time as a soldier. They represent the battles I fought and the sacrifices that were made by me and many others." Sam's eyes widened as he looked at the medals. He had always thought medals were something you got for winning a game or a race. He had no idea they could mean something so much more profound. "Were you a hero?" Sam asked, his voice filled with awe. Mr. Johnson chuckled softly. "Heroes are not always the ones who wear capes, Sam. Sometimes, they are the ones who face challenges with courage, even when they are afraid. Being a soldier isn't about being a hero in the way you might think. It's about duty, honor, and the willingness to protect others, even when it's hard." Sam was captivated. He sat down beside Mr. Johnson, eager to hear more. "Can you tell me a story about when you were a soldier?" Mr. Johnson nodded, and his expression became thoughtful as he began to share his experiences. He spoke of long, cold nights on the battlefield, where the silence was only broken by the distant sounds of conflict. He told Sam about the friendships he had formed with his fellow soldiers, bonds forged in the fire of war, and the pain of losing those who had become like brothers to him. "There were times when we were scared, times when we didn't know if we would make it through the night," Mr. Johnson said, his voice tinged with the weight of those memories. "But we had a job to do, not because we wanted glory, but because we knew that what we were doing was right. We were protecting our country, our families, and the freedoms we hold dear." As Sam listened, he felt a deep sense of admiration for Mr. Johnson. The stories were not just about war. They were about the values that had shaped the man sitting beside him. Courage, loyalty, and respect, these were the qualities that made a true soldier, and Sam realized they were qualities worth aspiring to in his own life. When Mr. Johnson finished speaking, Sam looked up at him with a newfound respect. "Thank you, Mr. Johnson," he said quietly. "Thank you for everything you did." Mr. Johnson smiled and patted Sam on the shoulder. "It was an honor to serve, Sam. And remember, respect isn't just about saying thank you. It's about understanding what others have gone through and carrying those values forward in your own life." From that day on, Sam's perspective changed. Whenever he saw a soldier or a veteran in town, he would stand a little straighter, offer a warm smile, and say, "Thank you for your service." He even started volunteering at the local veterans' home, where he would listen to the stories of the men and women who had served, each one leaving a lasting impact on him. As the years passed, Sam grew up and became a man who understood the value of respect and gratitude. He never forgot the lessons Mr. Johnson taught him, and he made it a point to pass those lessons on to others, especially the younger generation. He wanted them to understand that the freedoms they enjoyed were not free, they were earned by the sacrifices of those who came before them. The town of Evergreen continued to honor its soldiers, young and old, with parades, and every year, on Veterans Day, Sam would visit Mr. Johnson's grave. He would place a small flag by the headstone, bow his head, and whisper a heartfelt, "Thank you."